We now have start dates for the 2025 competitive Pokemon season, so if you are looking to chase a World Championship invite and you weren't able to do so this year, but we're setting your sights on 2025, well, now's your chance. We have the dates, or the day at least, and you guys can start getting kicked off. In years past, typically, the North American International Championship signaled the end of a given Pokemon competitive season, and that is no different from this year. But this year, 2024's NAIC, held in New Orleans, is pretty early. June 7th is the date of the tournament, and at the end of the weekend, so June 10th, I believe, the tournament will wrap up, and the season is over. You can no longer earn any championship points towards the 2024 World Championships, which means your qualification status is over. But, so typically in years past, June 11th would be the day where you could get back on the horse, go to a league challenge, go to a league cup, whatever was scheduled, and start earning points towards the 2025 season. Let's get pumped up, let's get there. But Pokemon has announced a clean break. Instead of starting right after and getting a lot of hectic and, crazy stuff going on where people don't know what we're playing for, where the World Championships even is, and what we're trying to qualify for, they are starting in July. So July 1st will almost certainly be the day where Pokemon leagues and stuff can start scheduling league cups and league challenges. And as we saw in the last couple of months, they've been doing kind of a 3-month system for league cups and challenges. So as challenges can be scheduled once a month per store, that's kind of irrelevant for the scope of this. But let's say July, August, September, that's a 3-month block now where a league cup can be scheduled for a store. And then the next block would obviously be October, November, December, which kind of cleans up the calendar and makes it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense if you think about it in the scope of a yearly tournament circuit. Now, we don't know what the tournament structure is, so if you guys want to know what that happens, just please subscribe to the channel. I will break that down extensively when the time comes and try to make it so you guys can figure out how to roadmap your invite from the get-go from day one. We don't have dates for this year's World Championships, much less next year's World Championships or location. So obviously be sparing, because the location could be something like the moon, like 2025 Worlds is the moon, and maybe you just can't make it to the moon, next year. But if it's something like Boston or Washington, D.C., I'm very East Coast biased because I live in D.C., so I would love to see another East Coast Worlds. Maybe that's affordable and in the cards for you. So you can probably expect to be playing Pokemon for a good month and a half without knowing where the World Championships is, where the next step for qualifications is. But it happens. Just get your points early. I think in the summer, everyone is like a little bit lethargic with that kind of stuff. So like, just get ahead of the curve. Try to get your points early before people start realizing, hey, I want to go for Worlds. Now, rather than giving out nothing in that time period, leagues will have more freedom to run friendly tournaments in alternate formats, like Gym Leader Challenge. Meaning, you could go to a league, and rather than having standard happening every week, you could probably play like expanded, maybe League Challenge, pre-release format, whatever your league wants to do for your weekly tournaments. And they're offering these old school stamped cards are coming back. Play Pokemon stamped cards are some of the coolest things that I experienced when I first started playing Pokemon, and to my dismay, they disappeared early on in the circuit. Before, up to almost 2014, you would get these awesome Play Pokemon promos when you attended Pokemon League that were always playable cards, and you would also get some in the mail as well during Play Pokemon Rewards. Now, that's something I hope they also bring back, but we obviously have no information on that. But seeing these Play Pokemon stamped cards come back is awesome for someone like me, because I love these kinds of cards, because it's a symbol of I'm playing this year, I'm a competitive player, and I get to hold these as a mark of the season. So Buddy Buddy Poffin, a very playable card in a majority of decks, actually, is coming out as League promo. So you can go grab 4 of these for yourself if you go to League. Super Rod, to shuffle any combination of 3 basic and Pokemon back into your deck. Good card as well. And then TM Evolution. So 3 very playable cards are being given out. And I assume this means that on every 3-month basis, maybe in addition to prize packs being given out, Pokemon will also be giving out some of these promos. Now, that's a little bit of a stark jump to make, but I'm hoping that there's more than just these prize packs being given out. I do think prize packs are already an excellent way to give out something to players at cups, challenges, and locals as well. So there's some incentive to show up rather than just like, hey, come hang out with your friends, yada yada. Because I know, like, when I was a kid, I would go to the library league on Fridays, very excited to try to earn the promos on the little stamp card that we had. Now, that's it for the news part of this, guys. Thank you for watching that part. But I don't want to just end it there. I figured I'd make it a 2-for-1 video because there's 2 topics that have been buzzing, and I wanted to talk about the second one, and that is some of the newer cards that are being released from the Crimson Haze set that will also be a part of our May set, Twilight Masquerade. First up, we have a really cool looking Ace spec. It kind of looks like an anime training belt, you know, like if you watched any like shonen anime, you know that like the main character always has some sort of like power limiter during their training arc. Survival Cast is the Ace spec of choice here. It's a tool card. If the Pokemon this card is attached to has full HP and would be knocked out by damage from an attack by your opponent's Pokemon, that Pokemon is not knocked out and remaining HP becomes 10. So this is a really cool card because now you can play a little bit more tanky strategies or 2-shot strategies, and cards like Penny maybe get a little bit more value with Survival Cast, but this card does get discarded if you were to be knocked out, so it's like basically just Focus Sash, which was a very broken card for its time, for fighting types only. But for all types here. So I don't know right now what can really abuse this card, because it can only take effect when you're at full HP going to not full HP. But this card does seem really, really good, or have at least playable purposes across the board. We also get Lana's Assistance, which is a supporter card. I just want to point out, it's very random that we're getting like supporters like Lana in the Scarlet Violet block, because like these guys are just like random like Gen 7 supporter. We got like Morty too, like don't really know what's going on. But put up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box and basic energy card from your discard pile to your hand. So basically it's a Clara that's nerfed, because Clara was able to get 2 Pokemon and 2 basic energy with no restriction. But Lana's Assistance says that you can only get a non-rule box Pokemon and a basic energy combination of 3. So it's like a super odd to hand, but also a lot of decks require their rule box cards. So unless there's a deck that doesn't need rule box cards realistically to be in the active, like maybe for Alligator, or like a Metang deck or something that can attack with a non-rule box card, this card's going to be pretty bad. I think right now a lot of the Pokemon in the game are rule box cards that are really good, and they're going to stay good. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that. Finally, we have a Boomerang Energy, another special energy added to the cast of cards that Archeops can use. Boomerang Energy is a colorless energy, so no more fun colored energies. Maybe I was thinking they could do something for future and past, like maybe a future energy and a past energy. I think that's like still probably in the cards at some point, somewhere down the line. But as long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides a colorless energy. If this card is discarded by the effect of an attack used by the Pokemon this card is attached to, attach this card from your discard pile to that Pokemon after attacking. Cool, that's actually a pretty useful one. It's like Recycle Energy, I think was the card, where if you had to discard the card, it would come back. I don't know, something like that. But I think like what decks really discard, or like what cards really discard cards besides fire types, I think is my biggest question immediately. And I think with a deck like Lugia, you already have so many powerful attackers that this might not matter in the grand scheme of things. So that's pretty much the look of first 3 cards. When more Crimson Haze cards comes out, I'll do a full review here on the channel, guys. So stay tuned for that as well. But for the time being, I'm really excited for the Pokemon competitive season. I'm going to try to break down as many of those news pieces revolving the competitive season as I can, because I want you guys to ask me your more important questions so I can answer them and get you guys in the right headspace to try to qualify for the World Championships, because that is the goal of this channel, to help you have fun with Pokemon, help you learn Pokemon, and hopefully help you qualify for the World Championships if that is your goal. So that all being said, thank you guys for watching. My name is Rahul. I hope you liked this content, and peace out.